Hey, welcome to the Art of Relationship Show. Another fun-filled episode, or hopefully it'll be fun. I'm going after today, what are some weird hobbies in your relationship that your partner has, maybe you have, that your partner might make fun of you. Maybe you're making fun of your partner. However, not only that, but you're afraid to bring up to family, to friends, what their hobby is, what they like to do, or what you like to do, okay? So we're going to have a little fun, a little potpourri show as well. Excuse me. Remember, always, you don't have to align with the topic of today's show, not at all. So you can, ask your questions, your Q&A, and we're going to kick off the show right now, right after the intro. Don't go anywhere. Hey people, welcome back to the Art of Relationship Show. Gonna have a little fun on this episode today, or hopefully, okay? Make sure you chime in down below and check out my website, theartofrelationships.org. I still have a few courses, well, all my self-help courses available for $30 off. They're cheap, okay? Healing After an Affair, Reviving Your Relationship or Marriage, and I have a premarital course as well, a bunch of videos, a bunch of insightful videos that I produced along with self-help guides, along with exercises, tools, strategies to help you through that. So check that out, theartofrelationships.org. And as always, join the chat down below, people. You can throw in your comments. Throw in, your questions, your comments. It doesn't have to be aligned with the topic of today's show, okay? Like I do the show live every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern time, and I'm always looking for feedback, always looking for insights, because I do the show for you. My passion is trying to help as many people out there to have a, amazing relationship, amazing marriage, amazing, if you want to say, relationship, promoting self-love and self-respect with yourself. This does not mean perfect, not at all, people, but that you have a better than good relationship, that you're able to reach for each other. You're able to understand what each other feels, what each other thinks, without the tit-for-tat battles going back and forth, okay? Without the arguing, the bitter. Let's face it, some people don't argue at all. They don't talk. Not at all. I've had couples, they don't talk for 4 weeks. They haven't talked for 8 weeks right there, okay? Literally, they don't even say good morning, hello, how are you? Hey, do you feel love? What can I do? What can I do to be a better person, a better partner? What can I stop doing to be a better partner for you? How can I love you better? Nothing. They don't talk for weeks at a time, which is sad, okay? I get it. But I want to try to help people reduce those tendencies, to stop them and to get more connected emotionally, mentally, and physically, sexually, if that's important to you, okay? So we're looking at today about a fun-filled topic, a little bit different than usual, going after your habits, okay? What are some weird habits or hobbies? We'll say hobbies, okay? We can say habits too. Why not? That you hold on to yourself. And also, what are weird habits, hobbies in your relationship, right? And some people, I can't talk about my husband, my boyfriend. He collects bugs, dead insects, dead bugs, right? Some people might think that that's weird. Some people might think that's hilarious. That's awesome, right? Some people might, collect dead butterflies. That would be a bug, right? They might be okay with that. But when it comes into beetles, ants, type of weird, millipedes, centipedes, that type of situation, a lot of people might like, ew, that's creepy. I can't tell anyone you do that. or my partner does that, okay? Now, make sure you share this live episode on your timeline, on your page. I want to try to help as many people out as always. And remember, check out my website, theartofrelationships.org, for the deals on my courses, and also a lot more information about me, the service I provide. For a lot of people that don't know, I'm Greg Dudzinski. I'm a fully licensed professional counselor, relationship and specialist, and have been seeing couples specializing in this for almost 23 years now. It'll be another month and a half. Well, actually 2 months. We'll say that. It'll be 23 years. I have a lot of grief, a lot of trauma experience as well. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Mr. Martinez, what's going on? Jeff, I appreciate everybody tuning in. And again, throw your comments down below, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. They do not have to relate to today's episode, okay? So hit me up. Start showing a list of some weird hobbies or habits that your partner has. I mentioned some people might find it weird to, that their partner, maybe you're one that your partner thinks you're weird or have a weird hobby, collecting bugs, collecting dead insects, bugs, that type of situation. Millipedes, centipedes, beetles, that type of situation. Maybe people collect dead ladybugs, or, the imitation, right? The Japanese beetles or whatever that look like ladybugs here in the States. And what else are some weird habits? Maybe your partner's hobby might be collecting a bunch of wigs, right? I don't have any wigs, as you can tell. I'd look sort of funny, I think, about it. But, looking at some weird, crazy hobbies or habits that your partner does that you are embarrassed about to tell anybody. You might not be okay with it, but you tolerate it, okay? So you look at what are some other weird, I mentioned about, insects. I mentioned about dead insects. I mentioned maybe they collect live insects too. They don't have to be dead. Maybe your lady collects wigs, that type of situation. Maybe your partner collects dead bones, animal bones, rats, mice, poor little bunny rabbits, squirrels. They have a collection of dead skulls going around, animal skulls. And you look at, do they drive you nuts, or can you joke around about it, or does your partner feel offended? I don't want them feeling offended, but it can be a little playful. Can you own it? Can you, I know it's a little weird, but it's my thing, right? Some people might collect old souvenirs, concert souvenirs, radio. A lot of people might not think those are weird. Some people might think their hobby is they play, I hear this a lot lately from the younger crowd, Warhammer, and they're 35 years old, 40 years old, and they paint little figurines, for Warhammer, like a video game or like a Dungeons and Dragons game or similar to it, I think, right? I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. Mariano, hey, what's happening? Margaret, I appreciate everybody tuning in. James, like I said, throw your comments down below, and I'll do my best to answer them to the best of my ability. Now, with the weird hobbies that your partner has or you have, are those, or did you originally think that they were deal breakers for your relationship? Man, it's weird. I'm not going to, be with someone that does this, that, or whatever, right? And I mentioned some other ones, some weird hobbies, right? Some weird hobbies might be some people, they work out. That's a great, hobby, great healthy hobby. But some people think they work out 6 hours a day and they're not a professional athlete, right? They might think that that's weird. So you can look at a normal hobby, and then how you do that in extremes might seem a little odd or weird for other people, right? What about the perverts out there that collect underwear, panties, that type of situation? Hopefully, when they're with a new partner, they don't do that anymore. That'd be sort of maybe odd or weird or, whatever. And they pull out every week, oh, I got you a new pair of panties, hon. And it's like creepy, right? So you look at, what might be a hobby that makes you sort of roll your eyes or maybe raise your eyebrows like, ooh, what's that? And I'm not telling anybody about that. I mentioned a few. I want to hear a few from you. And are they a deal breaker? Are they able to stop? And again, throw your questions out there. Anything I can do to help you in your marriage, in your relationship, in your, sexual life as well within that. And anything I can do, maybe you're, suffering from a heartbreak, your heart and soul got ripped out. Maybe, going through a trauma. I'll do the best I can to help you in the format this allows. Like I said, this does not, a disclosure here, this does not replace the professional counseling that I do right here in my office. So I want to help people and look at what is going on, what is happening. Hey, Vic, what's going on? But throw your comments, throw your, down below. Maybe you're a past love of yours had a weird hobby or whatever that you couldn't deal with. Maybe, the old stereotypical cat lady that has, 50 cats and you, oh my God, I can't, is that a hobby or is that an issue? You look at hoarding things. Is that a weird hobby or is that something that is, caused by anxiety, post-traumatic stress, depression, that type of situation that you look at, they collect. Oh, they collect things. Oh, great. What do they collect? Everything, Greg. So you look at, does it cause a problem for you? Does it cause a problem in your relationship or marriage? Or is it just odd, just sort of weird? And I mentioned some stuff, and I would love to be able to hear your comments on this. Divine Femme, I appreciate you tuning in. And everybody, Divine Femme 313, I appreciate you. So tune in, throw your comments down below, and what might be weird or odd hobbies. I'm going to throw me under the bus, okay? With the counseling, everything I deal with people, right? Maybe it's a weird hobby, maybe it's cool to some people, some it isn't. It's a hobby sort of side business, maybe a combination of both, where I have a bunch of lizards. Okay, I hate snakes, right? And that might be another one. Some people, oh my God, I keep and breed snakes, and they're like, ew, creepy. I'm not a big snake person, but I do have a bunch of lizards, a couple tortoises, different box turtle species. It's a hobby, not only a hobby, it's, hopefully turn into a business. I used to do it many, many, many years ago, and I got out of it to, daughter, finish school, grad school, that type of situation and counseling, right? So I've been getting back into it last couple of years, and a lot of people might look at, oh my God, that's weird, that's crazy, that's going, that's sort of weird. So a lot of people they love rats, and some people, oh my God, that's creepy, why would you have pet rats? Pet rats actually can be very cool. So what hobbies, maybe some people think it's weird that you're 25 years old, 30 years old, and you knit or crochet, put together puzzles. So there's a lot of things that I put into it. Maybe they're 50 years old, 40 years old, and they're obsessed with video games, right? What hobbies would drive you nuts? What would be deal breakers for you? Or, you know what? You think it's weird, but you're not going to tell anybody, not at all, okay? So it's one of those things that a lot of people talk about when they're dating. I'm not telling anybody what I do because they're going to think it's weird that you're judging one another, right? But I want to have a little fun. And what are some things, I'd love to see them in the comment down below, people. What might be a weird hobby or habit that you have? And a lot of it might, let's face it, sort of be biased, judgmental, based on age, right? And I threw one out there that maybe video games and they're 50 years old, but they love them, right? They can't get enough of them. The one thing, painted figurines, Warhammer, video game or whatever it is. that some people might think it's childish, it's not manly at all. So there is a big, maybe divide in that, but it's not a deal breaker, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now, if that hobby becomes, tends to be more of an issue, if that hobby becomes more important to you or your partner, we'll say that, then the relationship or marriage, then that hobby, of course, would become an issue, right? And some people might think, the season here in Michigan, golfing, right? Golfing, baseball, that type of thing. Oh, that's crazy. Why do you like golfing? That's a stupid game, or whatever it is. It could be a sporting event. It could be whatever. So a lot of people think and judge, right? That's weird. Why do you like it? Why do you, that's stupid. And there's a lot of bias, a lot of bashing. I don't want the bashing and, judgmental aspects, but we're having a little fun here, right? And going after and being able to look at, what other hobbies would you associate with somebody that, you would never associate maybe someone being 30 years old and loving shuffleboard, right? Or bocce ball or whatever, right? There are certain hobbies, certain likes that a lot of people might associate to a given age category, right? Playing Uno, playing, a Candyland, right? And your friends are adults. Oh, yeah, we love playing Candyland. And everybody's like, what? They're going, what? They're looking at you sideways instead of, oh, that's cool, whatever. Now, you could change it up a little bit, if you're playing a childish game, Candyland, whatever. Now, if you slide down the ladder, do you turn it into strip Candyland? I don't know. But looking at those elements to, what really, again, I keep repeating myself. That's why I want some insights, people. I want you to throw your comments down as far as, what might be odd, what might be weird, if it's a hobby or a certain habit or characteristic that you don't want to go telling everybody, right? Now, I threw me under the bus with lizards, a couple turtle species, tortoise species, that type of situation. But as most people might know, I have, it says stop hate, right? If people can see that, I don't know. I have tattoos, right? And I have another one that says love intentionally. So being professional, highly educated, not whatever, okay? I don't brag about that. But, the stereotypical counselor that is supposed to be, mild-mannered, supposed to be so prim and proper, that's not me, right? I have tattoos on my shoulders, down my arms, inside of my arms, that type of situation. So that might be, I don't know if that's a hobby or more of a personality that a lot of people might think is odd or weird. We're getting more maybe outside the box. Maybe it's a certain music you like. Maybe the stereotypical, big bad biker dude, and he likes doing watercolors, painting, that type of situation. So looking at those elements, number one, do they cause problems in your relationship or marriage? Or is it something you just don't talk about? Do you give more positive regard? Man, that's cool. You're so into that hobby. That's amazing. You have so much passion about that hobby. And then you walk away like, oh my God, that's so weird, right? They collect dead bugs. How weird is that, right? So certain people have maybe more of a scientific mind. Hey, David, what's going on? Maybe they're looking at it for research. Maybe they're looking into it as a, maybe a research mind. They want to look at how certain bugs work, maybe how they multiply, those type of situations. And that's where, you look at, that's weird, but they're, they got a, typical, maybe biological, physiological, scientific mind that they're trying to research how certain bugs work. Now, would that change your perspective if someone, I just like collecting dead bugs? Some people collect rocks, right? But they think that's cool. So it's ironic how subjective this is. I'm looking at, does this really create a problem for you in your relationship or marriage? Or do you just sort of zip your lips, you be quiet, and then you don't say anything. You just let them go along. Now, maybe some people, I don't care how weird, how, I talked about collecting, some people collect jewelry, right? Some people collect rings. Some people, I mentioned about collecting maybe barrettes, hair stuff, hair ties, barrettes, wigs. Maybe guys collect watches, the stereotypical, which isn't too out of the norm. I'm going after more of the odd, the maybe unfamiliar, the unique hobbies that people have that might drive you a little crazy, that might make you sort of just, I'm not saying anything, I'm not telling anybody. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, collecting dead animal bones, skulls, rats, mice, squirrels, rabbits, whatever, So is that weird? Or are people, they have these hobbies and habits that they're drawn to for whatever reason, but they go into a situation to where, you know what, that is weird, keep it away from me, right? And I mentioned at the beginning, or, a little bit ago, that, I have a side business and a hobby all in one, and a passion about lizard species, right? No snakes, so I hate snakes, or some people love snakes. So there's a lot of things that I look at. Number one, does it cause a problem in your relationship? I want to know if it does, why? Because of people's beliefs. Oh my God, that's just so weird, right? And, I can't tell anybody that because they're embarrassed, that type of situation, that they're afraid of family members, friends, other people might shame them. And I look at, are you really worried about other people, what they say or think? Is that a self-esteem, self-worth issue? Or is that just, that's their thing. That's what I do, right? Or that's what he does. That's what she does. I could care less. I still feel loved. I still feel respected. It's when a hobby might turn into problematic, like I said a couple minutes ago, where that hobby takes up too much time in the relationship or marriage, that you are spending way too much time doing that or a certain thing, and it is taken away from the relationship or marriage. If it's chronic, mine, I build lizard cages. I'm blue candy, blue collar, if you will, very handy. I don't tell a lot of people that I am very blue collar, right? So I build lizard cages, that stuff, and I try to, and it goes nuts. And I know my lady tries to help out a lot. I'm grateful for her, appreciative. But then I'm sure I got to make sure I take breaks and spend time with her so that hobby doesn't overrule a priority in the relationship. So that's where you have to look at, no matter how weird, oddball your hobby is, what? Does it cause a lot of issues in your relationship? Because you'd rather do that than spend time with your family, your significant other, right? Maybe people, their hobby is walking, hiking. They want to do that all the time. Maybe bike riding. Those are not odd hobbies, not at all, right? Hey, Marianne. Hey, what's happening? So those in itself are not odd or weird hobbies. It's depending on the level of the obsession with it, Is it, certain things be good? If you're a professional athlete, you better be obsessed with physical fitness, right? Let's be honest. Obsessed with your craft, getting better, promoting, if it's, baseball, fielding, catching, throwing, hitting, those type of situations, right? Base stealing, football, whatever sport it is, golf, you need, but if you're not a professional athlete on that level, elite level, are you more obsessed, and are you able to, have enough time carved out for your significant other and loved one. So that's where a lot of hobbies come from, regardless if they're odd, weird, that type of situation. But the main topic was about the odd situation, odd hobbies that you might roll your eyes with. You might raise your eyebrows like, ew, that's weird, that's sick. And number one, it doesn't have to have anything to do with you. And how does it affect your relationship in your marriage, right? Or does that change your idea of your person? Does that change how you view, how you feel your partner, him or her, doesn't matter, right? Man, that's weird. I lost respect because they like to do this. That type of situation. Oh my God, they like doing this, and that's sort of weird. My lady might be, late 20s and she's crocheting like my grandmother did in her 70s and 80s. So you look at, is it just a personal issue, a personal aspect, or is it a relationship that clashes with your beliefs and how you want to live, okay? Some people are very paranoid, we'll say, about lizards. They get creeped out, nightmares, whatever, and that person might not fit, say, with me, right? I respect that, I understand. Or is there a way to keep that totally separate, that weird hobby, that weird obsession, if you will, is that able to keep that separate from your person? Or is this something that, hey, maybe they'll start liking and you can do together, but also you have to do what they like together as well? And is there an engagement? Is there a back and forth, a give and take? An ebb and flow that I talk about in the relationship again, okay? Make sure you check out my website again, okay? theartofrelationships.org. Check that out. Follow me, like me, at LoveGuruGreg. All over social media. You can check out every past episode of the Art of Relationship show, which is this. Check it out on, probably the easiest way is on YouTube. So check it out, youtube.com, at or whatever, LoveGuruGreg, and you'll find it. And check it out, right? All my videos, the show I do is trying to help people out to have a different train of thought that can actually help them grow, evolve in their relationship, in their marriage, but also to promote self-love, self-respect, and also try to heal heartbreak and trauma, those type of situations. That's why I do the show, okay? My passion, it always is, it rings out in people I see in my office, right? That I do care. I give a shit about people, and I want to help people to the best of my ability that works for them, okay? So check it out and let me know. Keep the discussion going and let me know what your weird hobbies are that your partner has or maybe that you have that is weird. Maybe people like keeping old candy wrappers, right? I don't know. There's so many weird stuff out there, oddball stuff. I mentioned a few, but we could go on and on and on. Maybe people collect broken shoelaces. Maybe people collect Band-Aids they have. That'd be gross, right? But again, it's like, ew. So you look at, what actually works for you. It might be weird, but is it a deal breaker in your relationship or in your marriage? And is this something you can talk about? Hey, I think this is weird. Oh, just don't tell anyone. And they're okay with it. Can the two be okay, have a weird, very different, weird, odd hobby? A little bit of a obsession, passion, if you will. Maybe a passion would be a better word than obsession. They don't have to talk about to anybody, but you still feel loved. You still feel respected. You still feel desired, wanted, chosen, appreciated, those type of things. And that's what's important in your relationship and marriage, okay? So keep the discussion going. I have clients coming in a minute or two, so I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. Like, follow me all over the place at LoveGuruGreg on social media and YouTube. And theartofrelationships.org is my website. It has been forever. So peace and love to everybody out there. Everybody have a great, enjoyable day, okay? And maybe you're thinking about getting into a hobby or starting a hobby that you don't think your partner will like or think it's weird or you're going to be judged, talk about it, okay? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.